Yo guys, it is Amulet from Difference of Skill, and this is Card for Thoughts episode 29. So today I have a Royal Paladin unit, which is quite nice, and there are two copies of the same card because this card basically comes from a promo pack in the new set 14. If you buy a box, they basically give you a pack and you have a chance to get this. And there are two alternative art. So anyway, this card is named Sanctuary of Light Brightness Dragon. It has a Limit Break 4 ability, Counter Blast 2, Soul Blast 2, select up to 3 of your Royal Paladin Weird Guards. It gets power plus 5,000 during this turn. This skill cannot be activated again during this turn. So basically this is a Soul Saver Dragon, and he's been mechanized, so basically he's a Mecha Soul Saver Dragon. And his second ability, activate. Counter Blast 1, unlock one of your locked units. Alright, so basically, along with the new Nation Savior Azo, this is basically one of the new units that have the ability to unlock units. And let me just take a drink. Alright, so that itself is very good because basically whenever you come across a Link Joker, this card will basically shut down their main gimmick. And that basically means a lot because they basically don't get any like plus from locking cards anymore. His first ability is also very decent, although actually not as it's not that amazing. It's a Soul Savior effect, which means it's quite good. It helps you hit, like if as a game ender, it's pretty decent because it does turn out a lot of shields at late game, and because you get to control when you get to activate this, then it's quite better. It's actually kind of better than the original Soul Saver. Well, actually, in general, this is better than the original Soul Saver. Yeah, I'm kind of muttering here. For sure, because it's a 11k base, and you get to unlock units, and yeah, that actually means a lot. And because you get to control timing, that alone is actually better. Of course, one of the notable things is that this is not a Jewel Knight, meaning that this does not have a archetype. But that's I don't think that's a big issue because I think it has to be kind of like that because they give you the ability to unlock units. But I think that's kind of the intern why you don't get the archetype sometimes. But prove me wrong in the future. But yeah. Okay, the other good thing is that I think this will bring back the traditional Royal Paladins, like before the archetype system started coming out. Like, I mean, these new cards that have been released in the last like 2 days, I think they really give some possibilities back into the older cards. Like, they don't stay, like all your dead cards from like set 10 and before, or set 9 and previously, they basically have a chance to shine again because of these new cards that don't require archetype. Meaning it gives you quite a lot of reason to actually play cards, like play your older cards. Of course, one of the things with Royal Paladins is that they don't have an 11k base unit that can call units out yet. Like, at least not one that's archetype base. But I really hope that they actually will get one in the future because well, that's basically the really good point about Royal Paladins. And because in this format, yeah, playing 10k Vanguards aren't exactly the best idea because you do get bullied pretty hard by archetype clients. I don't really suggest, like, I don't want to play Alfred just because he's 10k base, but Alfred's such a good card that when building a traditional Royal Paladin, I wouldn't really not consider him. Now that's one of the things, and this actually puts me on to another topic. I think cards like these will actually change the format again because now Vanguard is kind of in a rock paper scissors motion. In the sense that if you play reverse, if you play a deck using reverse, you get counterpicked by Link Jokers. Now, on the contrary, if you play a deck that has no archetype, if you play a deck that has no archetype, but because they're basically giving all the non-archetype units unlock ability, you counterpick Link Jokers. No, but because you are a card, you are like a, yeah. I'm really putting. It's really hard for me to put this in a concrete sentence. Anyway, because you're playing cards that have no archetype and they have the ability to unlock, you get counterpicked by archetype decks now, or archetype decks and basically reverse decks, I guess, because you're kind of forced to play your older cards, meaning that you have to make use of like your 10k vanguards with their pretty decent effects, and you kind of get bullied up by the newer like meta types shit. But of course, I don't know if the 10k is a downside from the future. Like, one of the things about the playing decks with all a archetype is that you kind of don't get the incredible synergies from the new archetype meta stuff. So that's one of the things. You also lose the utility of having a 10k attack at grade 1 and a 12k attack at grade 2. But I mean, right now I'm saying the 10k is kind of a demerit for playing these decks because you do get bullied pretty hard. But of course, they can be, in the future, they might just release more 11Ks and then that will just put it into balance again, right? Or one of the things is that if they continue to release 10k vanguards for non-archetype cards, then in general, the 10k vanguards should have quite a lot of good effects in one card because that's because the downside of having 10k is basically having a better effect. Of course, this is kind of just recent. This is basically a more recent meta kind of thing analysis. Like, this is kind of a new standard now, is that if you're a 10k vanguard, you basically should be having a better effect because the extra 1k is kind of it will become a demerit. Anyway, that's pretty much what I have to add to this card. Like, I'm pretty happy with this card because I think it will bring back like the traditional paladin cards, and of course, if you guys knew, I do have a Royal Paladin deck just sitting around, kind of getting dusty. So this card might be able to put it in action again. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, these cards really introduce more of a meta change. Like I said, there's kind of the rock paper scissors thing. Well, I may be wrong, but to me, that's kind of how it's starting to look like. So in a way, it's kind of balanced because you can kind of pick one of the 3 type of decks, and then you don't know what you'll run into. So it's kind of fair in that sense. But at the same time, it's kind of dumb at the same time as well because like you get counterpicked by some other decks. It's not exactly always fun for you. But yeah, but I guess it's fair that way because you never know what you're running into, and you don't know. It's all fair chance now because you can choose one of the 3 and get counterpicked by one of the other 3. So yeah. Or you can end up in a fair situation where you play the opposing side, but yeah. Anyway, I'll come back in the next episode of Card for Thoughts, and I'll be doing probably another one of these promo cards. So yeah.